How are you,
Hang on.
Pat?
Good. It's just going live. So it says we're live. There we are. Perfect. Hey, welcome to the call, everyone. Nice to see you again. All
Hello.
right. Well, welcome. You know, tonight, Katie, we want to cover all of the products that are in the Sisel Cafe line. You know, it's been a while. You know, when you suggested the other night, I realized it's been a while since we talked about the coffee or the iced tea, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I don't even remember the last time.
Oh, I think the last time we really covered it was probably right after it came out.
Yep.
What was
Right.
that? 4 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago?
Yep.
That's a long time. You know, so folks, I think that when people hear that we have coffee, a lot of times they think, oh yeah, but I can just go buy coffee anywhere. That's not at all true, is it, Katie?
No, I mean, well, yes, of course you can buy coffee anywhere. It depends on the type of coffee you want to drink.
Right? You want to drink just regular old crappy coffee, or you want to drink good coffee?
Yeah, so, and that's going to come back to your value system. Do you just want to drink whatever or something really good?
Something that's not just good and good tasting either. I mean, we're talking, this is coffee that's actually healthy for you. So anyhow, let me grab a couple slides here that I got, and we'll get this show on the road. And so there we go. And I'm going to move this. I'm going to minimize these photos of us because we don't need to see that while we're talking. You know, how's that?
That's great.
All right. Well, you know, I appreciate everybody being here with us tonight, and thanks for taking your time. Saturday morning down in Australia, it's Friday night here in the United States and Canada, and whatever, you know, time frame it is wherever you're from. And you know, we do these presentations for a couple of reasons. Number one, we want to give you the information that you need so you can go out and build your team. But the other thing is that we want to give you the information so that you know that you're doing the right thing for your body. I mean, Katie, is there anything else that you can add as an intro type of a thing to the talking about the coffee?
I really think it comes back to how much you like your coffee and if you really want the best for yourself when I'm thinking about the coffee specifically. Separate to that, obviously, the fire and iced tea, which we'll get into. But yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing. Yeah.
You know what? I like coffee. I like drinking coffee. I get up in the morning and I take my dog outside, and the very next thing that I do is I make myself a pot of coffee. And while the coffee is brewing, I'm pulling out my Sisel bottles of vitamins, and I'm divvying out the vitamins for the day. And that's really how I start the day. And the very next thing that I'm doing is I'm going through my goals. I read my goals every morning, and then when the coffee's brewed, then I actually get the day started. But I don't start my day till the coffee's done. Are you a coffee drinker?
No, actually, I prefer the fire and iced tea first thing in the morning, Kurt. So I pretty much do exactly what you've just described, but instead of having the coffee, I'll have a fire and ice.
Okay. Well, you know, maybe after tonight's talk, you might switch to Sencha green tea versus the fire and ice.
Ooh, I might. Yes, I do have some.
Yeah,
I have tried it. It is nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, you might actually switch to the Sencha green tea, just because there's some health benefits that I don't think you get with the fire and ice tea. And,
okay, great.
And really, in reality, when I looked at it, when I was putting the slide together, I'm going, oh man, maybe I should switch to Sencha green tea versus the coffee.
Wow. Okay, I'm really interested to hear what you have to say today now.
Yeah. So, you know, people ask me all the time, they say, so, you know, what really makes your coffee better than anybody else's coffee? And so here's a couple of things that I'm going to point out, and we're going to go through this, is that the infrared roasting makes a difference because it prevents these cancer-causing compounds from forming. And we'll talk about that a little bit. And then we do this cryogenic freezing, and what that does is it prevents the nutrients, all the different things that are in the coffee bean from actually being lost during the grinding process. And if you grind your own coffee beans, I'm sure that you've noticed after you get done grinding, you'll notice on the inside of your grinder that there's kind of an oil in there. Well, by cryogenically freezing, we keep this oil in the coffee rather than pushing it out of the coffee. And that's where a lot of your good, healthy ingredients from coffee are found. And so when you go to a coffee house where they grind it, chances are they're grinding out all the good stuff. And then we've added chaga, which has some good immune system boosters and supports the healthy digestive system. We've got Gotu Kola, that helps with respiratory. There's some other things on Gotu Kola we're going to talk about. And then Bacaba helps with cognition. And in Ganoderma, that's just a mushroom that's been used for thousands of years to promote longevity. And folks, I do got to add this right away, is that the FDA has not evaluated any of these things. These are statements that we found from reading research on the ingredients, but we don't do actual studies. We're not a research laboratory, so we haven't done research on our product. So we can't say that we cure, treat, or prevent in any way. But we're going to go through some of the things that we found on research. And so what's different first is that, Katie, we pride ourselves in having a coffee bean that is actually, we start out with a better bean.
Yeah, and that's the most important starting point is the bean, obviously.
That's right. I mean, it's like building a house. If you don't have a good foundation, I don't care what you put on top of the house, the rest of the house is going to fall apart if the foundation falls apart. And so a lot of coffee places, what they'll use is they use a cheaper bean. They'll use a Colombian bean, things like that. The Sisel Cafe, it uses this Panamanian Bocchetti Geisha coffee bean. And if you remember when Tom used to talk about this, when we brought it out, when Tom Sr. would talk about it, is that the coffee bean, when it's raised in a real harsh climate, what happens is that the coffee plant actually has to survive. And when it survives, it produces all of these antioxidants that make it so that the coffee itself is healthier. And then when we drink the coffee, when we consume the coffee, we're actually getting those health benefits that the coffee bean had from actually being a hardy type of coffee bean. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, well, it's amazing because it's like the hardship that the coffee bean's gone through produces a better quality or a better tasting product.
That's right. And so that's what they find, is that because it grows on the top of these mountains in Panama, way up on the top, so you get the trade winds from the Pacific Ocean and the trade winds from the Atlantic Ocean that blow through there all the time, and most plants die. Most plants die, and then you're getting the sun exposure, you're getting all those UV rays, you're getting all the heat, but then you're getting it cold at night because of the fact that you're way up on the top of the mountain. And so the plant is actually going through all of this. Well, so then what these growers do in Panama with the Geisha coffee bean is they don't, because it's such a expensive coffee bean, they don't want to go up there and harvest it with like combines, like what they harvest corn or wheat with. They go up there and they send individual little pickers to go up there, and they go up there and they pick only the ripe coffee bean. Only the ripe coffee bean. They aren't picking the green coffee beans, just the ripe ones. And that makes a difference. Oh. So this coffee, well, I've seen Starbucks sell it online on an auction. I actually saw it go for about $185 for a 16-ounce bag of it, for a pound of this coffee.
Wow.
That's a lot of money for coffee, right? I mean, being a non-coffee drinker, I mean, aren't you just shaking your head and thinking, there's no way?
Well, no, I mean, I can understand that if somebody really enjoys their coffee and they love it that much. Obviously, they're drinking it every day, and why not get some health benefits from it, and why not have the best tasting that you can have? So I can understand why people would spend the money on it, because they place value on it.
That's right. And then on top of it, now most places, again, they're using a harvesting machine to pick the coffee bean. And so when they're picking this coffee bean, they're getting green beans, they're getting ripe red ones, and they're mixing them together. So then in order to have a uniform taste, most of these coffee companies, what they do is they burn the coffee bean. And what that does is it gives the taste of a uniform taste throughout the coffee. But since we're using ripe coffee beans, we don't have to do that. And then what we do, because it's expensive coffee bean, is that what we do is we use a special infrared technology. So we turn the temperature way down. And so instead of cooking at 400 or 500 degrees, we're cooking this coffee at less than 250 degrees. And what that does is it makes it so that these dangerous acrylamides don't form in the coffee. And so Proposition 65 out in California, this is one thing that you'll see, is that in every coffee house in California, they have to put a sign up that said the coffee bean can actually cause cancer. But because we're using the infrared roasting, we lower the risk of that. But even though we are lowering the risk, Katie, as you've noticed, we still have to put that label on there because we do sell the coffee in California. Oh, I don't hear you. So anyhow, that's something. And so that's what makes our coffee special all by itself. And then, folks, as you can see in the picture here, this is what chaga looks like. It's a fungus that grows on the side of these trees way up in the North Country. So it grows way up in like Siberia. It grows way up north here in northern North Dakota and northern Minnesota, up in the northern parts of the United States, way up in the cold parts of the Rocky Mountains. And you can see it by that black splotch that grows on the side of the tree. That's chaga. And it's really not something that you want to look at and go, oh, wow, how pretty is that? I mean, but it's something that it's got some good health benefits to it. And it's got vitamins and minerals that help with the immune system. It helps out with the digestive system. I was reading up on it today, Katie, and in Russia, they actually demanded that their Olympic athletes, 50 years ago, they demanded that their Olympic athletes actually consume tea made with chaga. And by doing so, they found that that these athletes would actually be able to handle stress better. And so again, we can't say that we're making any claims, anything like that. These are the studies on chaga. And then we have another ingredient called Gotu Kola. And Gotu Kola is an ingredient that is found in our coffee. It's native to, hang on one second there. There you are. It's native to Asia, but they found that it helps out with the respiratory health. They also found that it helps with health of brain at the same time. Hang on. Oh, there's Katie came back with me. Hang on one second, folks. I'm going to bring her back on. Your computer died, huh? Your computer died, eh?
Oh, I'm back. Yes. We've got really high temperatures here in the moment in Melbourne. It's been 35 degrees the last 2 days, and the humidity is really high. And I think it's overheating because I'm really hot, really hot. Sorry about that. So hopefully it doesn't do it again.
Okay. Well, if it does, I'll know where you go, because I was asking you questions, and it's like, well, you weren't answering me, so I thought maybe you got distracted by your dog or something. Anyhow, Gotu Kola helps with the respiratory system, and they found that it helps with the brain as well. And so again, we can't make claims, but these are studies on gotu kola. And then
I've got something to say about the gotu kola. My mum used to give gotu kola supplements. This is going back about 12 years to my dad, because when he was developing Alzheimer's, to help with that condition.
Right. Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to think of the place that I read about, where they said that it actually, they find that people don't have any Alzheimer's in this part of the world because of the gotu kola.
Yeah. Wow. Really?
Yeah. So that's interesting that your mom gave it to your dad, and now we have it in the coffee.
Mm.
And then Bacapa is an ingredient that when I first was learning about Bacapa, I really learned about it because of its ability to help with the telomeres. It helps to prevent the telomeres from breaking apart. It helps to with longevity because of that. But also they find that it helps make healthy connections in your brain. Do you know if your mom was using this with your father?
No, I mean, she was only looking at a couple of herbs. It was such a long time ago. There is just so much more information and so many more herbs that can really support and assist someone in that condition. And I really wish we had access to this, what we have now back then, obviously. But this is a great ingredient.
Yeah, it really is. And so Bacapa, I mean, you can see it. I mean, you take a look at the plant, the photo that I have over there in the lower left or lower right corner. And, chances are, if you live in an area where it's real wet, you'll see this growing. I've seen it growing up here in the United States.
Wow.
Right? I didn't go grab any and chew on it, but next time I probably will. Yeah. You laugh. You don't know that I really do that. And mushrooms. I mean, holy cow! My dad. I remember when I was a kid, he used to grab mushrooms like this off the trees, and we'd eat them. And I'm like, well, aren't mushrooms supposed to be poisonous? He said, oh, well, not these. And he knew which ones to grab, but I don't know which ones to eat. I'd be afraid I'd be grabbing the poisonous ones. But Ganoderma, it's been something that's been used for thousands of years because of its health benefits. And the reishi mushroom, you've probably heard of it, called the reishi mushroom. Turkey tail mushroom is another name for it. You can see, look at that. If you turn it on its side, it kind of looks like a turkey tail, doesn't
it? I don't see turkeys that often here.
Huh?
I don't see turkeys that often here.
Oh, you don't have turkeys running around?
No.
Okay, if you did, that's what it would look like. Turn that on its side, and that's what a turkey looks like. But so they find that it helps out with longevity. So folks, I mean, think about that. We've got the way that we've got the coffee bean to begin with that makes it healthy. Then we've got the way that it's processed, right? And then we've added the chaga, we've added the Bacapa, we've added the gotu kola, and we've added the Ganoderma. I mean, holy cow. It's a really, really healthy coffee. And I think it tastes great. It tastes great.
And I mean, if you're going to spend that money on coffee and you like and you enjoy a premium coffee, why not get the added health benefits as well, Kurt? And it kind of just makes sense, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. That's the whole thing. If you're going to spend the money buying a good coffee, I mean, I just can't get over it that these people go to these coffee shops and they'll spend upwards $4 or $5 for a cup of coffee, and that doesn't even get them a free refill.
There you go.
I'm too cheap. I'm too cheap. But so the coffee comes in a ground, and that's how I buy it. I really like the ground coffee. I like putting it in my coffee maker, and I percolate it. And I really like it that way. I know I was talking to my friend up in Canada, and he said he really likes the instant coffee because he doesn't have to go through the hassle of putting it in the coffee maker. And he said he only drinks 2 cups a day. most mornings I'll sit around and I'll drink a pot of coffee by myself, and if somebody pops by, you know, I've got a pot of coffee going all the time.
Yep, it does taste amazing.
Yeah, and across the world, instant coffee is actually consumed more than percolated coffee. Did you know that?
Yeah, I could imagine that. I mean, at work in the morning, the main conversation, at least 2 times before lunch, is, you know, let's go get a coffee. Can't wait to have my coffee. Need my coffee. You know, every day people are talking about it.
Yeah, they're talking about it all the time, and you know, I mean, they even got their own little special language. You know, they don't say, well, you know, I put cream in my coffee. No, they say, I take my coffee with cream.
Yeah.
I take my coffee with 2 lumps of sugar or whatever. I don't do any of that. I just drink my coffee black. I like it that way. But you know, a lot of folks, they like to add stuff to it and you know, make it taste the way they want to taste it. But did you know that other than water, coffee is the 2nd most consumed beverage on the planet?
Oh yeah. I mean, I actually spoke to someone recently who wanted to get started on the AGE pill, and he actually told me, you know, he drinks 6 cups of coffee a day and hardly any water. And I said, look, to be honest, you're going to need to drink some water to take the AGE. And he said, well, I love my coffee so much, and I can't do that, and I'm not going to stop my 6 cups, and I'm not drinking enough water. So he basically lives off coffee, and I'm sure he's not the only one. So there must be lots of people that are drinking a lot of coffee.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I used to see people, my mom and dad, they drink coffee till they went to bed, and I thought, well, how do you sleep?
And did they?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they got so used to it that it actually didn't cause any problems. But you know, now my mom is really sensitive to caffeine, and so she won't drink. She'll drink 1 cup in the morning. That's all now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, anyhow, folks, you know, that's kind of our discussion on coffee. Like I said, it comes in a instant and in a ground. And I really like it. I love the coffee. I have it every day. When I go out on my hunting trips, I take the instant with me. And when I travel, I take the instant. So the next thing we want to talk about is it's called Fire and Ice Tea. And it's a peach mango flavor. And it really, it comes with a good kick to it. It bumps up the thermogenics, and what that means, folks, is that, think of it like this, is that, you know, if you've got an oven burning inside you and it's melting fat, the Fire and Ice Tea, what it does, it's like turning the temperature up in that oven just a little bit hotter, and so it'll burn the fat, it'll give you energy. It's packed with really good antioxidants. It's got B vitamins, and the caffeine is buffered, so you don't get that slug of caffeine that a lot of like energy drinks give you and things like that. And so it mixes up really good. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It just really is good for you, and it gives you energy. Katie, anything that you want to add?
I'd say it definitely gives you your BB bounce. A lot of people are deficient in 1 or more B vitamins, and the Fire and Ice has a ton of B vitamins, nearly all of them. So noticeable energy effects just from the B vitamins. And in addition to the B vitamins, you've got, you know, your good amount of caffeine. So you've got your buffered caffeine. So if you're not a coffee drinker, this is a great alternative. And the other thing, you know, it's got some vitamin C in there, which is fantastic for your immune system. So it's really got a lot of great nutrients in there that can support your health. Not only give you energy, it helps to improve mental clarity, I've noticed. And of course, with mental clarity and energy comes improved mood. These are the things that I've noticed for myself when taking the Fire and Ice. And I actually used it to get off Diet Coke, Kurt. I used to drink, prior to using this product, I used to drink a lot of Diet Coke. I wanted the caffeine from the Diet Coke. I wanted the to wake me up a bit, and I wanted that sweet taste so that in between meals, to kind of ward off like those hunger pains, I would drink a Diet Coke because I just wanted something in between. Now, the fire and ice tea has that derivative of stevia, so really a properly tested natural sweetener that works really well. It's been tested in clinical trials too, I believe. And yeah, so it's just really a great alternative. So I use this product to get off the Diet Coke, Kurt. And yeah, I love it. I love it.
A lot of people have done that I know. They used to drink soda. I used to drink a 6-pack of soda a day. And,
wow, there you go.
Yeah, and this so this helped me get off the soda as well. This and drinking coffee, but
yeah.
And then of course, Fire and Ice Tea also has the chaga. So all those benefits that we talked about with the chaga, it's in the Fire and Ice Tea. All the benefits of the Bacaba, it's in there. All the benefits of Gotu Cola, it's in there as well. And like Katie was talking about, it boosts energy. It helps with your skin. Of course, because it's burning fat, it's going to help with weight loss. And
yeah.
And then like Katie was talking about with the B vitamins, I mean, here's a little science on it. And so if you take a look at thiamine, which is vitamin B1, it's a vitamin that helps out with a lot of different health conditions. It helps with the nerves. It helps with the heart. A lot of people have found that with mental type issues, like Katie said, like just a kind of a mental boost, the thiamine really helps out with that, vitamin B1. And then riboflavin, which is vitamin B2, it's a supplement that's used for treating deficiencies and also for migraines, and that's found in the Fire and Ice Tea as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great product, and I know like my kids really like it because they find that it gives them that little boost of energy that they want in the afternoon, and you know I've got 3 boys that are you know just in their mid-20s, and it keeps them from drinking that soda and those energy drinks, and I really like that because I don't like people consuming those energy drinks. It's just not healthy for you.
Plus, you can just before we finish, you can also use it for weight maintenance and weight loss. So as I said, like in between meals when you're wanting to reach for something sweet, a pick-me-up, you can have your Fire and Ice Tea, and that will help to satisfy and curb the appetite. So I've used it, Kurt. I use it every day to help maintain weight so that I don't overeat. So in the afternoon when I want something sweet, I will go and have my Fire and Ice as well. And you can actually use it to lose weight as well to support your weight loss as well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Somebody asked, you know, why would Fire and Ice Tea make some people feel nauseous? Well,
I think I know. I think it's the caffeine, the high dose of caffeine if they're not used to it.
Yeah.
Do you think? I
think it's that. And then also some people are just so sensitive to anything. And they might notice that they have a little sensitivity to it. So what I would tell you is that if you notice you get a little nauseous when you drink it, just take it, just try and drink just a little bit, just a little dab of it at a time until your body gets used to that high dose of vitamins.
I think another way you could tackle it is when you open the packet, just use half a packet, because sometimes I use just half a packet and add more water. So and then drink it that way if you actually reduce instead of having a full sachet. And the other thing is making sure that you're drinking plenty of water too, you know, not just having the Fire and Ice and no other fluids. You definitely want to be getting your water intake in as well because it does have the caffeine in it, and caffeine is a diuretic, and it is important to consume adequate amounts of water when drinking caffeine. So that's my tip on it, and that's what I found, yeah.
Okay, definitely, yeah. So like Katie said, you know, and like Michael said too, definitely try and dilute it out and do a little bit at a time. Get your body used to it. That's what I would do if you notice that you're nauseous. But you know, I've never had a problem with it. Of course, you know, it seems like even with the age pill, Katie, I could take 25 of them all at once and not get the flushing effect of it.
I know. We even tried to make you get it, and you couldn't.
I couldn't do it, right? And even with the new formulation, I couldn't get myself to have that. So kind of amazing. But some people are a little bit more sensitive. So let's talk a little bit about this green tea, right? a little bit about green tea. And green tea, it's been used for a long time. It's probably, I think it's a real popular beverage. I know, like when I'm driving on the road, if I don't have time to grab something to eat, I'll grab a green tea and I'll drink it. I like the taste of it. This is a sencha green tea, and so it's a Japanese tea, and there's a lot of really healthy benefits to it. That it helps with boosting the immune system. Katie, this is why I was saying you might want to switch to this in the morning versus drinking the fire and ice, because here you're getting the immune boosting effect. You're getting some healthy cell growth. You're getting increased energy along with it, and the mental stress, all those things that we talked about with the other part. But you know, and then we've got the chaga, the bacapa, and the gotu kola in here as well. And we went through all of that. But here's where it gets different, is that when you take a look at green tea, it's got all these polyphenols and these catechins and micronutrients that act like antioxidants in your body. So this EGCG, it reduces the free radicals. It's a free radical destroyer. And we all know that free radicals are the things that cause cancer. When some friends of mine got diagnosed with cancer, I recommended the sencha green tea, the Sisel sencha green tea, because I said it's got this EGCG that is so important. You know how when we talk about the anti-angiogenic properties found with resveratrol and fucoid?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They actually find that EGCG is another one, probably up there in that same category. It's really good for that anti-angiogenesis. And for you folks that are new to Sisel, maybe you haven't heard me speak before, where I talk about anti-angiogenesis. Anti means stop, and angiogenesis means forming new blood vessels. And a cancer, tumors have to have their own blood supply. They actually trigger the body to form new blood veins to grow to them. And so what anti-angiogenesis means is it's going to stop that formation of the new blood supply. And so in the studies on these anti-angiogenic properties, they actually show that it can reduce the tumor formation. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's fantastic. It makes sense why so many people want to take it.
Yep. And then EGCG works with the brain because of the antioxidant properties. It works with helping with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease. It protects the heart. It protects against inflammation. And folks, I mean, if you've been on any of our doctor's clinic calls that Andrea and I do every Tuesday, we talk about inflammation being one of the components of almost every single chronic disease process. So when you're drinking sencha green tea, it's going to help with that, and it also helps out with this norepinephrine, right? Do you know what norepinephrine is?
Go on.
So epinephrine is another name for adrenaline.
Yeah.
Norepinephrine is another hormone that comes from the adrenal glands. And so in your body, when it's going through stress, what it'll do is it'll break down the norepinephrine. So when you have EGCG, it'll actually help to increase the amount of norepinephrine. And what that'll do is that'll make it so you break down your fat cells.
Oh, so great for weight loss.
Yep, because now you can use that fat as energy. You can use it as fuel. Instead of storing it, you can burn it.
Wow. What we want.
Right? And then today when I was reading about EGCG, right? I mean, this is what I'm doing. Katie, is I'm learning as I'm putting these slides together. EGCG actually stimulates the stem cells in your bone marrow.
Oh, wow.
So as we hear more and more and more about stem cell research, here's another product that's going to help with your stem cells. And by promoting the stem cells in your bone marrow, it's going to help prevent osteoporosis.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It's really pretty cool. And again, folks, I mean, we're not talking about research on our product. The FDA says that we have to say, that we haven't studied our product. This is just these are statements that are made on the actual ingredients, on the extracts, not on our product. So I found this in research on the product. And then we talk about some of the other things that are found in Japanese sencha tea. L-theanine. It increases memory. It increases attention. It helps with people that have had some mild brain damage, like post-traumatic stress syndrome, things like that. Anti-anxiety effects. It helps calm you down. And that's kind of the opposite of caffeine, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. Well, yes. I mean, caffeine can give you clarity, but I guess it doesn't really, it kind of energizes you. It doesn't make you, it depends. If you're thinking about being relaxed and calm, yeah, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, I think about drinking something with caffeine because I want to, it's going to wire me out just a little bit. And so this says that it actually calms you down. So maybe I can drink a pot of coffee and then drink 2 green teas.
Sounds like an idea. I'm gonna try one. I'm gonna have one today now after you've been going through this.
Yeah, there you go. And then here's something else that I didn't know until today. The polyphenols in green tea actually protect your telomeres.
Oh, yes. Great.
Right? And you know what telomeres are?
Yep, the caps and tips of your chromosomes.
That's right. They prevent the aging of the chromosomes. And so basically we can say based on this then, on this science, that the polyphenols in green teas are going to be anti-aging.
Fantastic. So
Yeah.
so how many would you take a day, Kurt? Is one sufficient?
Well, I mean, one is going to be sufficient, but if you drink 2 or 3, I'm sure it can't hurt. The one thing that I read about the green tea, it said online, they said the beauty of green tea is you can't get too much.
Oh, wow, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what it said when I was reading about green tea today, is that you can't get too much. And you think of everything else that we do, all the other things that we do, there's always a limit, right? Where they say, okay, this might be too much. But with green tea, they said there's actually not a limit where it's too much for you.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's great.
Yeah, and it's going to make your hair grow back.
Wow.
Right?
That's
And
fantastic.
it does. And it's going to help with liver health. And, and I'll tell you what, folks. I mean, Katie, you know it from all the toxins that are in our food, all the toxins that are in our air, all the toxins that we've used in our personal care products. I mean, we've really damaged our livers. And they found that the polyphenols in green tea will actually help to improve liver function.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And it lowers the risk of type 2 diabetes by improving the insulin sensitivity. It helps with intelligence, right? I mean, I'll have to avoid green tea because I think I'm too smart already.
Yes, good.
But I'm just kidding around. But, it helps out with memory. It helps out with reaction time. My son was teaching me how to box today.
Was he?
Yeah, we went downstairs. He's a Golden Glove boxer. So he took me down to the new gym that I'm building in my house. I've got a speed bag and a heavy bag down there. And so when we talk about reaction time, I got to improve that reaction time. He was ducking and dodging my punches so good that I couldn't hit him. So I've got to drink more green tea.
Oh, so Kurt, why don't you give it a really good go with the sencha green tea, a couple of sachets a day, and then report back and tell us your testimonial.
I'll do that. I'll start drinking, instead of drinking coffee, I'll drink green tea.
Great.
Yeah, and I'll come back and I'll report to everybody on what it does. But here's the other thing. It increases dopamine, right? And where do we know dopamine? What disease has to do with dopamine? What 2 diseases really have to do with dopamine?
So dopamine, isn't that for like mood?
Moods. Yeah, but what else? What 2 diseases?
Well, obviously 2 mental health issues. Alzheimer's?
No, dopamine is ADD and ADHD as
Yeah.
well, you know, and so most men have at least a small case of attention deficit disorder, right? That's why we can't pay attention. That's why we can't multitask like most women can. But it's because of dopamine. So it increases the amount of dopamine. So maybe it'll help out some of us guys so we can multitask.
Oh, okay. People are saying yes. Thanks, Marilyn and Vicky. It's Parkinson's. Helps with Parkinson's.
Helps with Parkinson's. That's the other one. Exactly. Right. And so with all of this, if it's helping with the dopamine, it's helping out with the norepinephrine, it's helping out with the adrenaline, all these different things. What gland in your body is that coming from? Think of it, adrenaline. What gland?
Adrenal gland.
Adrenal gland. Yeah. So we can actually say, based on the studies, that they say that the ingredients in green tea should help people that have adrenal gland fatigue.
Okay, great. And so, Kurt, can you take the green tea and the coffee together?
Can I drink coffee and then drink green tea on the same day?
Well, yeah, or have them one after another?
Sure, I don't know why not.
Okay.
I don't know why not. You know, I've had coffee and then drank green tea right afterwards. You bet. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You're going to get the properties of both that way. Yeah. So isn't that I just like that. When I read up on the green tea today, I was like, holy cow, I'm going to start drinking green tea. Right? And
yeah, we're encouraging ourselves to drink more.
Yeah. You know, and again, folks, you know, we can't say that these claims are on our product. We have to say that this is on the ingredients, and we have these ingredients in our product. So guess what? Today they announced that they're going to have a special on all of these products.
For the U.S.
Oh, is this just in the U.S.?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I think so. I mean, I think we'll be getting it too, unless I think it's the U.S., Kurt.
Oh,
sorry,
wow.
guys.
Yeah, well, I thought it was across the globe. It should be across the globe. Let's work on them. Let's get it so that this is something that global type of a promotion. But basically, here's what you get is that you're getting the instant Sizzle Cafe, you're getting the Sencha tea, you're getting the Fire Ice, and you're getting the Sizzle Rip. So, folks, you're getting all four of those products, not just sample packs. You're not just getting 4 or 5 of each one. You're getting a full box or a full bag of each one. You're getting a month's supply of all 4 of those products, and it's for $150.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Great.
Plus you're getting a postcard for each product. So now here's a way that you can share that with your friends. You can give it to them as a Christmas gift. You can hand it out. Maybe you've got somebody special at work that you work with, or that's someone special in your life that you want to help them stay healthy, and you can give them the postcard to tell them what you're giving them.
It's a great idea.
I think it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And weight loss too. So if you know somebody that's fat, you can say, here, drink this. You won't be so fat.
I don't think you'd say that to someone.
I know, right? I'm fat, and if somebody said that to me, I'd probably tell them. I'd probably say, hey, my son's teaching me how to box. You want to find out a few moves that I learned? No. Hey, folks, I like to kid around a little bit, but, I mean, really, honestly, this is a great special, and what a day to find out that they're running the special on the same day that we're doing the talk on the product. And so, here's something that we can use, and trust me, we'll, as your team leaders, we're gonna go to corporate and we're gonna say, hey, you got to have this across the globe. You can't just have this in the United States. I mean, holy cow.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Right? And
yeah.
It's good. It's $150, $149 PV. So, it's pretty much 1-to-1 as far as that goes. So here's something that I wanted to talk about tonight, as we're talking about mainly products, right? And there's a lot of nutrition companies out there. I mean, I want to say there's probably 5,000 nutritional companies. And they all tell you, oh, yeah, we got the best. We've got the best, and I tell people, yeah, we've got a product, the TSX, for example. And they say, yeah, we've got an astragalus product. But, folks, there's a difference in a number of things. When you take a look at most companies, what they'll do is they'll take any raw ingredient and they'll throw it in there. When I was out at Sisel and I did a tour of the manufacturing plant a number of years ago, they were shipping back a shipment of raw ingredients because it had mold in it.
Wow.
Right? And Sisel refuses to use that kind of ingredient. If it's got heavy metal toxicity, we refuse it. So what happens is that when the raw ingredients come to Sisel, it sits in a quarantine area. And it's in a quarantine for a number of days, maybe weeks, because they want to make sure that this mold doesn't start to grow as it's there. Because the last thing that we want to do is deliver a product to you that's moldy, right? And do you know what Katie? You know what happens when a product has mold and we call the supplier and we say, hey, we're going to send it back to you?
They sell it to someone else?
Yeah, they hit it with radiation.
Oh.
And they kill the mold or the fungus, and then they ship it to somebody else.
Yeah.
And so these other companies, you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting. So we use only the top of the line raw ingredients, and then what we do is we test the ingredients for nutritional value, because if I take and I grow, say we were talking about Bacapa. If I grow Bacapa here in North Dakota and then I grow it down in Australia, you can bet your dollar that it's going to be different.
Yeah. It's
going to be different because the soil here is different. The air quality, it's different. And so there's different qualities of each ingredient. Yeah, it might all be Bacapa, but it's not the same thing. And so what Tom demands of the manufacturing is that we use only the highest quality ingredients. We don't just use it because it says it's Bacapa, for example. We make sure that we get the product that has what it's supposed to have, because that's why we get the reproducible results that we get with our products.
I mean, this is a big draw card, Kurt, for the Sisel products. I mean, we know that they're manufacturing their own products in their own manufacturing plant. They're sourcing the ingredients. They're doing all the tests that they need to do. They reject ingredients if they're not, of sufficient potency or if they're contaminated. So, we can be assured that we're getting the best possible ingredients and quality, and then we're getting, as you said, consistent results. So I just think that's just a wonderful thing to be actually buying from the manufacturer, because essentially that's what we're doing. I mean, Sisel own Supernaturals, which is the manufacturing facility where all the Sisel products come out of. Tom has previously said that, Supernaturals currently produces about 20% of the products for Sisel and 80% for other companies. And his goal is to have that as 80% for Sisel and 20% for other companies. So that's some vision there for you, but also it's just great that we have our own facility to develop our own products, because nobody else has them.
Nobody else, and like you said, Tom manufactures products for a lot of companies, and none of those other products for those other companies, they don't get the same quality that we get, because they have to pay Tom extra. He charges them to manufacture their product. And so in order to make them so that they can compete on the open market, well, they have to make their product inferior in comparison. We don't have to do that. That's the big advantage that we have with manufacturing our own product. And then, we talk about this fairy dusting of ingredients. Bottom line is, folks, what that is that, let's say that I'm making a product, and I've used the word Bacapa throughout the topic tonight. I'm just going to use that one, right? And there's a certain amount of Bacapa that will get the job done, and that's what we use. It's called the therapeutic dose. And we're putting a therapeutic dose in every cup of coffee. We're putting a therapeutic dose in every cup of green tea. We're putting a therapeutic dose in every glass of the Fire and Ice tea. If we were like most companies, what they do is they take the Bacapa and they put like a grain of it in a giant barrel, and they say, oh yeah, it's in there.
Yeah. And they just put it on the ingredients, and they say list it as an ingredient, and there's basically, as you said, a fairy dust amount.
Yeah. I mean, and we don't do that. This is important. This is important stuff that you need to know. This is important stuff that you need to share with your new distributors and your prospects. You know, a lot of times people say to me, they say, oh yeah, I already take, you know, this or that. And I say, really, where do you get it? And they'll tell me, oh, I buy it, you know, over here at the store. And they'll name a store, and I'll say, you know, I'll say, are you sure you're getting what you think you're paying for?
Exactly.
You know, it's interesting. A number of years ago, Katie, there was a company in Minneapolis, Minnesota that manufactured vitamins, and they did a study. They went out and they grabbed vitamins from 50 other different companies, and what they did is they tested for ingredients, and they reported it in the local newspaper. And what they said is that out of the 50 different vitamins that they tested, only 4 had what they said was on the label.
Wow.
Yeah. Some of them didn't even include any of the ingredients. They didn't even bother to fairy dust the ingredient in.
And that's why I'd never buy something just off the supermarket shelf or just off the shelf in general, unless it's like coming from a really reputable source. I wouldn't want to purchase it.
No, it's your health. I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, what I try and, like, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, oh yeah, but your products are so expensive. And I said, well, compared to what? Right? Compared to what? Right?
Exactly.
I mean, if you can't afford the products, here's what I'm going to tell you to do, folks. Just take and cut back. I mean, you're going to be better off taking say Spectromax. You're going to be better off taking a quarter of a dosage every day than taking any other mineral product on the market.
Yeah.
And spread it out. Make it last a month. If that's what you have to do while you're building your business so that you can afford to be on all the products, do that. Find your ones that you just absolutely need, like the age pill or whatever you know, the Fucoidan, whatever it happens to be. And then buy the rest of the products and just take a small dose. Maybe take like 1 pill instead of 6. You know, maybe take it every 3rd day instead of every day. Whatever you need to do, but get on all the products.
Yeah. I mean, how can you recommend a product, Kurt, if you're not using it? You can't, can you?
That's exactly it. Well, I could. I mean, like I always tell people, if I was selling pantyhose, I wouldn't have to wear them to sell them. Right? I mean, I'm gonna learn what's better about ours, and I'm gonna learn how to sell it. But anyhow, you know, folks. So as we kind of close out, why would you want to join a team like what we have here? And I'll tell you, you know, I put this slide on here because I thought it was important that as you look at a team, and a lot of people, you know, you're showing this presentation to other people, why would you want to join the Sisel World team? And I think part of it is that, I mean, you know that you got me here. I'm here to help all of you. I took several hours to put this slideshow together. I've been doing chiropractic for 30 years. And my goal is I'm going to help every one of you figure out how to live healthy. I mean, bottom line, that's what I'm going to do. You know, a lot of you know that you can consult with me, and I'll help you find answers to your questions. And the other thing is that, you know, we all need an adequate income. And so many people today with the economy the way it is, they just don't have enough money. And so not just me, but all of the leaders here on the team, we understand how to help you make an income. And so we're going to talk to you not just about the compensation plan. We're not just going to tell you, oh, here's the compensation plan. We're going to work with you until you understand the compensation plan. We're going to help you until you're generating that income. Because otherwise, I think we're falling down. Wouldn't you say, Katie, we're falling down? We're not doing our job if we're not sitting here and making that dedication that we're going to do that for you, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then on top of it, we're not just concerned with healthy aging for the now. If you saw my email, if you saw my mailbox, you know that every day I'm talking to people about how are we going to leave the world a better place, and I thought about it, I mean, when I die on my tombstone, that's what I want. He made it better. That's what I want written on there.
Aw. That's lovely.
But that's it. That's it. And that's what we're doing. We're working behind the scenes a lot. I know Katie's working with corporate right now. When they said they were going to Australia to put together meetings all across the country, they called Katie and they said, "Hey, can you help us do this?" Katie, I mean, I have to. There's my applaud. Hands off to you.
Thank you. Well, I love it because I love helping people, and this is just such a great company to be involved in, and we're with a great team, and we've got great support from you, Kurt, and everyone in the team's lovely, and we just really want to see everyone succeed, and we want them to have the best possible health and life that they can have. Really, that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. So, folks, as you go through the Christmas season, I just want to say Merry Christmas. I know, we're about 2 weeks early, but, thanks for being with us here tonight and sharing your time on a Friday night here in the United States and Canada, a Saturday morning down in Australia. I know there's a lot of other things you could have been doing, and here you are. So, Katie, I'm going to hand it over to you. And is there anything that you want to add?
Oh, yes. Actually, there was one more question about the coffee. Does it help burn fat? So, yes, Kurt.
Yeah, actually, some of the ingredients in the coffee, what they do is they help to get your metabolism up, and they help so that you burn the fuel more efficiently, and that's what's going to help you so that the coffee is actually fat burning at the same time.
Yep, great. Thank you for answering the question. So thanks for all the questions. I really appreciate everyone jumping on and getting involved. Hopefully we answered most, if not all of them. And I hope you have a great weekend and look forward to you joining us next time.
All right. Well, thanks, Katie. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.